The hidden wisdom behind the Treaty of Hudaybiyyah. A masterclass in Islamic diplomacy. What if I told you that one of the most pivotal moments in Islamic history, a moment that seemed like a defeat, was actually a monumental victory? A victory that paved the way for the spread of Islam like never before. Most Muslims know the name, the Treaty of Hudaybiyyah, but few truly grasp its profound impact. This one event changed the fate of an entire nation. Stay with us to uncover the full story. Have you ever wondered why Allah, in His infinite wisdom, would allow His Prophet and his companions to seemingly compromise their dignity? Why did Allah reveal verses praising this very moment, this Treaty of Hudaybiyyah? What was truly happening at that time? This is why understanding the Treaty of Hudaybiyyah matters. It's not just history. It's a blueprint for resilience. The year is 6 years after the Hijrah. The Muslims, led by Prophet Muhammad, yearned to perform Umrah in Mecca, their beloved city. But Mecca was still under the control of the Quraysh, who had driven them out. The political situation was tense, a fragile truce at best. Society in Arabia was steeped in tribalism, idolatry, and constant warfare. Moral decline was rampant. The Quraysh saw the Muslims as a threat, their very existence challenging the old order. The desert was silent, but something big was coming. The Prophet, with 1,400 companions, set out peacefully, unarmed, intending only pilgrimage. This was the world before the Treaty of Hudaybiyyah was revealed. A world on the brink of change, where it would become a turning point. The Prophet and his companions, dressed in ihram, journeyed towards Mecca, their hearts filled with hope, their intentions pure. They carried no weapons, only the desire to worship. Imagine the anticipation, the longing for their homeland. This journey, leading to the Treaty of Hudaybiyyah, was a testament to their faith. The Quraysh blocked their path at Hudaybiyyah. They sent emissaries, their faces etched with suspicion and arrogance. The Muslims were denied entry. A tense standoff ensued. Imagine standing there, watching, as your deepest desire is denied. This moment, before the Treaty of Hudaybiyyah was signed, was a test of patience. Prophet Muhammad sent Uthman as an envoy to Mecca. Days passed, and Uthman did not return. A rumor spread like wildfire. Uthman had been killed. Panic, anger, and despair began to ripple through the Muslim camp. The companions, ready to fight to the last man, pledged allegiance to the Prophet under a tree. The Bayat, this oath, born of loyalty, preceded the Treaty of Hudaybiyyah. Finally, Uthman returned. The Quraysh sent Suhail ibn Amr to negotiate. The terms were harsh, seemingly unfair. Muslims would return to Medina without performing Umrah that year. Any Meccan who came to Medina would be returned, but any Muslim who went to Mecca would not be. A 10-year truce. The companions were distraught. Umar questioned the Prophet. Imagine the confusion, the pain of accepting such terms. This was the Treaty of Hudaybiyyah, a moment of immense difficulty. Despite the companions' anguish, the Prophet, guided by divine wisdom, accepted the terms. He knew what they did not. He saw beyond the immediate humiliation to the greater good. He calmly instructed his companions to sacrifice their animals and shave their heads, fulfilling the rituals of Umrah. Symbolically, this act of obedience, in the face of apparent defeat, was central to the Treaty of Hudaybiyyah. It was a profound lesson in trust. Lesson 1. The power of patience and trust in Allah. Even when circumstances seem bleak and the path ahead is unclear, patience and unwavering trust in Allah's plan are paramount. How it applies today, in our struggles, personal or collective, we must remember that Allah's wisdom transcends our limited understanding. When a door closes and we feel despair, remember the companions at Hudaybiyyah. This teaches us that true victory often comes through unexpected paths. Lesson 2. Diplomacy over conflict. The Prophet chose negotiation and peace, even when his followers were ready for war. How it applies today. In a world rife with conflict, the Treaty of Hudaybiyyah reminds us of the power of dialogue and peaceful resolution, choosing to speak rather than fight, even when provoked. This reminds us that peace is a strength, not a weakness. Lesson 3. The long-term vision. The Prophet saw beyond the immediate setback to the strategic advantages the treaty offered. How it applies today. We often focus on instant gratification, but true success requires foresight and strategic thinking, sacrificing a short-term gain for a greater, lasting benefit. Allah is showing us the importance of a long-term perspective. Lesson 4. The importance of unity. Despite their disagreements, the companions ultimately united behind the Prophet's decision. How it applies today. Disunity weakens us. The Treaty of Hudaybiyyah highlights the strength found in collective obedience and solidarity, putting aside personal opinions for the greater good of the community. This teaches us that unity is a divine blessing. Lesson 5. The opening of Mecca. The truce allowed for increased interaction between Muslims and Meccans, leading to many embracing Islam. It ultimately paved the way for the peaceful conquest of Mecca. How it applies today? Sometimes what seems like a concession is actually an opening for greater opportunities, a period of quiet reflection leading to profound personal growth. This reminds us of Allah's promise of ease after hardship. The Treaty of Hudaybiyyah was indeed a clear victory. If we ignore these lessons from the Treaty of Hudaybiyyah, we risk repeating the mistakes of history. History can repeat itself. Many nations were destroyed because they failed to understand the wisdom behind apparent setbacks. They chose arrogance over humility, immediate gratification over long-term vision. The Treaty of Hudaybiyyah is a stark reminder that true power lies not in aggression, but in wisdom, patience, and trust in Allah. To disregard the principles of the Treaty of Hudaybiyyah is to invite chaos. Are we prepared to face our own Hudaybiyyah moments with the same faith and wisdom? Are we truly following the lessons embedded in the Treaty of Hudaybiyyah? O Allah, guide us to understand your wisdom in all circumstances. Grant us patience, foresight, and the strength to follow the path of your beloved Prophet. Make us among those who learn from the Treaty of Hudaybiyyah and apply its profound teachings in our lives. Ameen. If this story of the Treaty of Hudaybiyyah touched your heart, like this video, comment Subhanallah. If you learned something new, share this with someone who needs this reminder of divine wisdom and patience.